Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today's basketball media day. Really looking forward to doing some interviews, but also watching practice. Going to be able to watch the men's team for a little bit, as well as the women's team. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Also today, Director of Athletics Dan Radakovich is going to speak to the media. I'm really curious to see what he has to say, in particular with the football team and the practice facility upgrades that they want to do there. So I'm sure he'll be asked about that and talk about that. So definitely stay tuned. And also at the end of the video, I'm going to provide my observations on what I saw at practice today. So I got a chance to see him recently as well, but season's just around the corner. Definitely going to check that out. So definitely stay tuned.
And welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. So just checking back in here, I was able to watch some of the women's basketball practice. The men's practice starts in about an hour and a half or so, and as you can see behind me, freshman Favor is out here at the center, working on some shots, which is good to see. You know, I was at practice a couple weeks ago, last week, and I saw him knock down like a 17-footer right beyond the free throw line. So he's working on that shot and he's implementing it in practice, but just good seeing the freshman kind of put in that extra work before practice. So I don't want to keep it too long, but I do want to mention that the season preview show will be coming out, but drop in the comments below if you have questions that you'd like for us to answer, some mailbag type questions that you'd like to have answered before the season, anything that's on your mind. So definitely drop below in the comments. And I'm getting ready to interview some players here in a little bit, and then Coach Larinaga will speak, and then I'll be able to watch practice. Okay, so I just want to show you guys the new court that's been laid down here at the Watsco Center. Dan Radakovich was speaking about it, so I just want to show you guys a little bit about it. This is actually, you know, the first time they've done this since the name, the Watsco Center took over here. As you can see, the new baseline and also the big U logo. You know, looks definitely big. It might even be bigger than it was in the past. Maybe you guys would know, but see the Watsco Center logo. So just got wrapped up watching practice today. There's a lot I want to get into, but definitely I just want to say stay tuned to the channel, because interviews with a lot of players, as well as highlights, including some 5-on-5 action. The drill stuff is a lot of fun too, but I really like watching 5-on-5, guys going at it on both ends of the court. So a lot of stuff still to come on the channel. Just kind of recapping the day, you know, overall just a good buzz around this program. They're picked 4th in the ACC going into it, which Miami typically doesn't have those kind of high, you know, expectations going into it. They've got a good team coming back. 2 key starters, Isaiah Wong, Jordan Miller, you guys already know, but then with Norchad and with what he was able to do last year, and also Nigel Pack. And that's where I want to start with Nigel. Today he performed very well, did very well in the shooting drills. Just got done watching the 5-on-5 half-court offense versus defense, really that first unit versus that second team, kind of scout team kind of team. And Nigel knocked down threes. You know, he leave him open, he'll knock it down. And, you know, that's the thing with Nigel. Just because of his shooting ability, he knows how to find spaces on the court. Also, if a play breaks down in the half court, they're able to find him, whether it's on the wing. You know, that's where he was doing a lot of his damage. He can certainly hit it from the baseline or up top as well. But, you know, he's a guy that just knocked down threes today. I thought that was impressive. And I want to talk about this top unit with what we're seeing so far. You know, the other day I kind of mentioned Woogle Poplar kind of filling in as that number 5 guy. And once again today, that's what it looks like. I think that's the starting lineup. You know, I'll get into the season preview show, and I'm going to talk about lineups and what to expect. But definitely, I think Wooga's right there. I think he's going to be a starter when the season starts. And, you know, essentially, if he plays well enough, he's going to stay in there. Just talking to him, he said one of the things he's trying to really do, in addition to, you know, playing good defense, but just find spots where he can kind of clean up, you know, offensively. Find different spots where he can be effective and really help this team with the other 4 guys he knows that are proven scorers at this level. So Wooga, and he did well today, knocked down a shot. He also came up with some good rebounds, driving to the basket. He took off and got fouled on a dunk attempt, and another teammate, I forgot, I couldn't determine who it was, but kind of joked that he took off from the three-point line. So he definitely has that ability. Jim Larrañaga talked about he's really being aggressive, driving the ball. So we saw it today in practice. So the other thing too, they round out that the starting five there, but Bensley Joseph and Anthony Walker, the two guys that are rotating in on that top unit, they're not with the second group. So I really look at this as a 7-man lineup, a 7-man rotation at this point. Certainly they're going to do whatever they can to get a couple of other guys ready in the rotation, but I think as you're going into the season, you're looking at 7 guys with this unit, and we'll see how that 8-9 kind of works out. And guys on the other team, on the scout team, second unit, have to just kind of continue to play well, continue to develop, whether it's the freshmen. Speaking of that, I had a great conversation with Favor today, and I was really, I'm really looking forward to kind of sharing some of the things more in detail with what he had to say in terms of his work ethic, what he's trying to do here at UM and things like that. But, he looked really good today in the drills, in the 5-on-5 action. Did a good job defensively in particular. I thought that's where he really stood out, grabbed some rebounds, but also disrupting shots, and you'll see in the breakdown with the 5-on-5 action that he really was the guy that kind of, solidified the defense there, came up with some stops, some steals, deflections, things like that. So I thought he looked good today. I thought that was a good sign, as Miami looks to get other guys involved, like I mentioned. So that's what I noticed today. Another thing that I'm starting to be very, very curious about, once again, I'll discuss a lot of this with the preview show, but I noticed it today again. I'm very curious to see where Norchad fits offensively. He can rebound and all those kind of things, but he's a guy that got Sun Belt Player of the Year last year, averaged over 17 a game. Offensively, I'm just not seeing him really involved with taking shots and things of that nature. And I think that it'll be very interesting just to see how he does. I do think, he has a chance to get off to a good, strong start in the non-conference schedule, and certainly he's a main piece for this team. But it's just something I've noticed in practices that I've been to. Just, you're not seeing him kind of take over in spurts like you do with some of these other players. Jordan Miller was another guy that did well today on both ends. So I think you're seeing some of that. So I just think I'm very curious just to see how he fits in offensively and just kind of wrapping this thing up. Jim Larrañaga was asked about playing small ball, and Jordan Miller talked about it too, where he feels like this team really understands. He felt like that was one of the things kind of that's different about this team. They really understand how to play that small ball lineup, but something that Coach Larrañaga said, they're actually going to play a smaller small ball. So I thought that was interesting, but it's true. Norchad stands, he's listed at 6'7", and Sam Wardenberg played last year at 6'10", 6'11". So they are getting a little bit smaller, believe it or not, and they're still going to play Jordan at the 4. It looks like I said, Wuga's looking like at that 3 spot there. So it's very interesting. This team is very interesting. Once again, they've got a lot of different guys that they can mix in. Stay tuned to the channel. Overall, good day. It was a long day watching their different practices, the women's team as well. I didn't get a chance to talk about them, but I was able to watch some of them, and I thought the Cavender twins certainly stepped up their game, and they really shined, on both ends of the court. That's what was really impressive about them. They're bringing a lot to the team. From in the backcourt, the knockdown shots, they get steals on defense, really play at a good pace on both ends of the floor. I thought that was very noticeable at practice today, so that was good. That team will be very interesting as well. They're picked at top half of the ACC as well. So all in all, a good day. Hoops is just around the corner, which I always like. Definitely drop in the comments, as I mentioned before, on this video. If you've got questions you'd like to have answered for the preview show, definitely drop below in the comments. But I'm going to get going. I'm definitely excited to show you guys everything that I saw today, put this in together in a good package, whether it's interviews or highlights from practice. So definitely thanks for watching, and take care.